Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 212 campaigns to share with you today. One of them is also this month's promotional campaign, The Hive. I'll show you their newest droids in a few minutes, but all these ones are already available on My Mini Factory or as part of their current Patreon release, like the fantastic Thunder Crash droid. If you'd like to start your army off while also helping out the channel, The Hive has shared their warrior droids with my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much to The Hive for your support. Links to all of that below. Quick content warning, some of these campaigns contain pinups and objectified models. Links in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. First up, these are the Guardian of the Glacier and the Eagle Hunter from Ogoreg Miniatures. The Nalon Realm has a fun little Life Finds a Way diorama. Dino and Dog Miniatures have 12 new dioramas and individual dinos for you to paint. Animal Den Miniatures has new tigers, boars, a baby bear, and more. Here is a Geigeresque goddess statue from the Surreal Factory. Clay Demon Miniatures has a sea hag bust, mermaid statue, a pagan priest, and an orc huntress. Ernest Nemirovsky has a Project Eve diorama piece. The Blade of the Sand from Kraken's Vault is several poses, busts, and a diorama of a sneaky desert assassin. This is Amantia, the Cordyceps Queen, from Bella Noct Miniatures. Hell Creator has new busts and statues of Kratos and Rex. Ronin Arts has busts of 2 monks and a warrior, as well as a pinup and a sci-fi elf girl. Clay Cyanide Miniatures has a bunch of Zodiac-themed statues this month. "3D Art Guy" has a couple fantasy-themed femme fatales, as well as various other pirates, rogues, and wizards. New models from channel patron Nom Nom Figures include Zelda and Kaneda from Akira on that awesome bike of his. Fantabulous Miniatures has a Sandman model this month. Isekai Heavy Industries have several new superheroes and a Sacred Land head. These are Bimos from B-Team Minis. We Play Games have a mutated Spider-Man chibi. Last School have a Space Ranger, a Space Surfer, and an evil sumo demon. This is Mikasa to finish off Ethan Savage Studios' August release, with Kairi and Kagome as first previews of next month. This is Usagi Yojimbo from 3DXM. Here is the monthly public preview from Capsule Chibi. These are Savage Dragon, Mum Ra, and She Spawn from Prey Collection Studio. Here are the rest of July's comic minis and the first two for August from channel patron C27 Minis and Terrain, as well as a Trolley and Crates, a Titan Copter, and the Revengers Dice Tower. From RN Studio, this is Classic JRPG Volume 8. Here is all the Viking terrain that channel patron RFI Prints came out with in July, plus a preview of the Colosseum they're working on. August McDaniel is working on a ruined highway overpass. Project Mobius has new sewer tiles, street tiles, a few vehicles, and more. Here are the completed Ruins in the Desert from Savant 3D. Sable Badger has new Sci-Fi walls and Space Weirdos game tokens. Dragon Workshop has completed their Abbey set, with the top floor and roof, as well as a few minis to go with. Aether Studios is working on new desert tiles, temples, buildings, spaceships, and more. Tesseract Tomb has a new set of sci-fi terrain with plasma pipes, a generator, turbines, and a shredder. This is a sci-fi base in Galusha, the Living Rainforest, from Sacris Mundus. New terrain from Charlie Factory includes a bunch of Boneyards pieces and these cool curved rock formations. Dark Realms has one more shop from Vladistov for July, as well as a whole bunch of terrain tiles. Masterwork Tools has a bunch of dungeon stone wall tiles with doors and windows in them. Gamescape 3D has a bunch of interior elements to complete their Hauntwood Scriptorium. The Dragon's Rest has a Craggy Keep this month. KMFB Designs has a drop pod to finish off July, and new troopers, characters, transports, and more for August. Red Nebular has new small-scale orc Dropbox, and goblin prisoners with jobs. Channel patron Tordo Minis has new demon forces with some demonic imp teasers, as well as cavalry for their Ethereal Covenant and Dragon Dynasty, and new mini blasphemy bikes and walker. These are prototype 3mm Warmaster minis from Wake's Emporium, an army of ratfolk. K-Scale Models is working on a Hammerhead spaceship and a Matilda light tank. IG has new small-scale attack fighters. Moose Makes Anything has a new Imperial battleship and 3 land train cars. Soulforge Studio has new artisanal elven cruisers and the combat barge of the Warriors of Iron. One Page Rules has some new Alliance fleet ships for their FTL game. Blue Wolf Miniatures has a new P-95 Starfighter and the clone troopers that pilot them. Channel patron Lost Heresy has new allies and aliens for Away Team Red, along with some alien eggs for them to scan from a distance. Niverdale Tabletop has jump pack stands for the Shadow Collective starter set, and some little Uten scrap-loving aliens. From Faux Figures, these are Twyek Dancers, Shadow Forest Lizards, and Net Spiders. Hokusa 3D Designs have some new alien flora and mecha fauna this month. Squamos Miniatures has a new desert camp and several pieces of desert terrain. Black Remnant has Jabba's entourage, Sith Ancients, Gamorreans, characters, and more. Skullforge Studio has new Republic Commandos and Heroes, as well as a pirate gang of Cloud Riders and 2 mechs. Darkfire Designs has an Outer Rim homestead with 2 squads of Imperial troopers and 3 Alliance flight leaders. Zirzo Miniatures has a collection of Egyptian-themed robots this month. .3D Print Cleric has 6 new Star Collective Warriors. Channel patron Fantastical Sculpts has 3 new Monarch Assault Sisters to show off this week. Polygrim is working on Space Dwarf Soldiers and Miners this month. Here is the completed Scorp Skulker from Starpharaoh Foundry, along with the Unascended and an Apocalypse Walker. These chunky boys from Duskbrown Miniatures are in need of a faction name. Head on over to leave a suggestion. Tiny Legends don't release their minis regularly, but top-level patrons can access their full catalog, which you see here. Channel patron The Hive has new Strider droids and an Alpha Strider droid, as well as Strider Hounds. This is the completed X-74 Sheridan Walker from channel patron Golden Dragon Games, as well as a new P-63 Kestrel long-range fighter craft. Orc King has a new Plague Captain this month. Channel patron Lost Heresy has a new Demon Host for their previously released Inquisitor set, as well as Hammerman for when they need a little muscle. Crucible of Games have Chiliad's Scion Praetorians, Prosperine Vipers, Sons of Kess, and more. Diverging Realm has new Apostles of Asvani and Coven Exoframes, as well as Scion Sentinels and Penitents. Red Nebular have new Dwarf Guildguard and Hoverhoggers, as well as Space Orc Technicals and Greaskits. This Battle Sarcophagus is the final piece for July from channel patron The Dork Factory, as well as new Corpse Composite Shadow Husks and an Archaeo Surveyor with an Iron Hound. Imitation of Life miniatures have a new Modular Mutant and a Mercenary. Daka Daka Store has new Nurgle Demon units and Angels of War, Battle Sisters. From House Bartef this month, we get a couple Underhive Hunters, as well as a couple hardy creatures that grow down there. Rage's Creations have a new Freddie Mercury-themed priest for their Battle Nun band. Hive Delta has a preview for a new Xeno Crusher model. Mr. Modulork has Baron Gigantus this month, as well as a big truck with lots of options. DMG Minis is working on a team of heavy weapon marines. Edge Miniatures has a new army of Dark Jesters this month. That Evil One has 4 new squads of various different space soldiers, as well as 1 group of dead soldiers. Wild Mesh has a new Infernal Mech set this month. Here's an enormous Daka wagon from Gearguts Mech Shop, along with an armored pirate bruiser boss, Iron Crusaders with flamers, and more. Print Minis has a Colossus Heavy Transport, Light Infantry, and several characters. Sol White Studio has new Mechanites, Siege Equipment, Biker Cavalry, and more. Heroes Infinite has a second collection of Arcadian Elves this month, with lots of characters, vehicles, troops, and more. Atlan Forge has new drop pods and angelic lion knights. Station Forge has some industrial terrain to finish off July, as well as a Grimguard Command Squad and Scavenger Junkers. Puppets War Miniatures has work-in-progress Bug Brutes and Orc Bikers, as well as 2 versions of completed Knight Strikers. For Proxies, Cyberforge has some Fidelis Custodes on bikes, and Heroes on bike and on foot. Here are the rest of the Dark Techno upgrades for July from the Maker's Cult, as well as new entries in their Black Knights, Tempest Legion, and Iron Hive armies, a Valor Corps Napoleon, and more. One Page Rules has a new addition to their Saurian Starhost army, and check out the Fantasy Warbands section of this video for 2 demon armies that could fit in this section as well. Mad Ram Designs has a squad of multi-part warrior worker women. Arch Globas has a team of Sci Fi commandos named the Phantoms. This is the Cleaning Squad from Bob Naismith. KLT Studio has some zombies and military personnel. Print, Paint, and Play have a Solar Dragon and a couple alien mercenaries. The Lilanian Industrial Complex has 8 new mechs, tanks, and flyers this month. Look at the giant guns on that tank in the back. Combat Octopus has new multi-part Russian VDV troops. .3DP Miniatures has Bob Ross, Ferdinand Porsche, a delivery guy, and a couple saying goodbye. Vault Z has a new Liquor, a Nemesis Abomination, and Agent Albert Wesker, hunting them down. Spectre Miniatures has a set of Commandos and a DIY armored vehicle. This is the Archer Arc 5W mech from Matt Mason. Turn-Based Miniatures has new Chinese PLA and Special Forces, as well as a ZBD-09 APC. Railstone has an interesting collection of droids and mutant zombies. Channel patron Kyoshi Neko Miniatures have finished up their Japanese army, for Sci Fi at least, and are moving on to the US Marine Corps. Knucklebones has a new soldier in a set of Brewster armor. Big Mr. Tong has new chemical suit soldiers and the zombies they're hunting. Channel patron Papsicales Miniatures has 4 new models this week, with the last one, Colonial Marine Private James Morgan, a free download. Anvil Digital Forge has a nice set of modular corporate security forces, with lots of multi-shell components for additional customizability. It's the Metal Slammers gang versus Police Drones this month from Unit 9. Cyberforge Miniatures has the B-Team, fighting against Solaris and his weirdos, along with some terrain and bits. The latest team from Myth Bowl RN Studio is the Slaughters. From Ugni Miniatures, this big guy is Robert, along with a couple of stunned tokens. Here are two of the Night Goblins that Punga Miniatures are working on this month. Gadgetworks has a new Oracle with a Brazier, and Athenian Hoplites with a Commander. For Historical, Medbury Miniatures has 13th Century Knights with lances and swords, along with Sir Henry de Bohun from last vid. Caleb Makes Minis has a Mouse Folk Sentinel, Hunting Hounds, and Lord Weimar Berkeley. Heroes and Beasts Miniatures have a new Rabbit Folk Samurai and an Acolyte Cultist. Cross Lenses have 5 fun little animal folk. Naga Minis have new previews up of a Magma Axolotl and Terrain, as well as a Corgi Mailman. Goonmaster Games has Turtle Crusaders and Beastie Bats with bases and terrain. Epics and Stuffs has new Owlkin, Tortles, a Hunter of Crows, a Beefy Barlgura, and more. Here are the completed Lion Folk from Manuel Boria, as well as a new work-in-progress Rat Ogre model. Dice Heads has a team of 4 Mouse Folk this month. The 4 Ninja Turtles from Yasashi Kyojin Studio are complete. Cobra Mode has a new Giant Moth and Shaman to go with their not too low a day yet Lanceoloria that I showed you last vid. Here are some cute kitty knights from Mini Monster Mayhem. Crow's Craft has a nice Arakocra Adventurer. From Epic Adventure Miniatures, this is Elle, a work-in-progress Bright Elf Sorcerer. Harlequin the Undefeated from Uncanny Minis is a free High Elf Gladiator, complete with character sheets. These are a Wild Tiefling Huntress and a Changeling Ringmaster from Awkward Penguins Minis, as well as some bases and a bonus Witch. Sculpt Tuner has a collection of Battle Mages and some castle ruins for them to defend. Here is the completed July set from Your Neighbor Night Minis, and previews of the Bards and Bar coming in August. Random Miniatures has a collection of adventures and some other models this month. Print and Paint Miniatures has 4 dwarves this month, delving into the Lost Mine. These are part of the Flaming Fist Mercenary Company from Lion Tower Miniatures. Role-playing and miniatures have some nifty spell effects that I wasn't sure which section to put them into. Village's Hope Miniatures Fairy Garden set includes Wolf Samurai, Fox Ninjas, their ninja house, and more. Collective Studio has 6 new heroes, adventuring into the Abyss to fight Skellies and Orcus, the Lord of Bones. Fantasy Cult Miniatures has a trio of Griffin Knights and a Priest. Here are Citizens, Servants, and Rulers to finish off Labyrinth Models' Jan Ven set for August, plus a look at the Assassins that will be appearing behind you in September. For Fantasy, Big Mr. Tong has some heavy Halfling Swordsmen this month. Duncan Shadow has 3 new spears and bows each of Halfling Cavalry on adorable sheep. Twin Goddess Miniatures has a bunch of adventurers and several adversaries for Starjammer this month. Victus Miniatures has new multi-part Angry Villagers, as well as some characters and farm animals. Asgard Rising Miniatures has Dwarven Shield Maidens, Mines, and Huts to finish off July, as well as Dwarven Miners to start off August. This is Heroine's Quest Volume 2 from RNS Studio. Chapter 25 from The Printing Goes Ever On is the Citizens of Whitecaster, with townfolk, tradespeople, and even 4 buildings. Here is a new Fighter, Warrior, and Ranger from Titanforge Miniatures, as well as a few of their mortal enemies. More in the Fantasy Warbands section. JG Sculpts has 4 new demons this month. Iconic Minis has a free huge tree monster. Permanent Nerd Damage Studios is working on Chitinikin. Realm of Paths has a new Necromancer and an adult Black Dragon. Night Owl 3D has been showing off the Legend of the Shinigami of Aokigahara, coming soon. And Phoenix has 5 new classic monopose orcs this month. Stand Art Painting has been working on an ogre and new demons. Goblin Art Studio has Orc Mercenaries and Terrain, as well as 9 bonus orcs. LE3D has a sea monster this month. Lost Hobbyist Miniatures have a unique adventure for your party with this clan of senior barbarians. This is Orcus, Lord of the Undead, from WTH Studios. Orc Skull miniatures have new Snotling flying chips. Stormcrow have two classic owlbears, Gonti, Lord of Luxury, and a Burning Sun Avatar, dinosaur, from Magic the Gathering. It's Orcish August for Dungeon Dog miniatures, with 3 new warriors for you. This is a Lantern Mosque from Grinning God. Nostalgia Quest from Crypta Studios has a few modern adventurers and some great monsters and dungeon terrain. Spirit of Resin have a Lady of the Sea set with pirates and sea monsters. Here are 2 vampire figures from Ratman Forge that didn't quite make their last release. Maps and Monsters have a new Paraka and a giant scorpion. Admiral Apocalypse Miniatures is working on a Corrupted Temple set for August. Arcanum Workshop has the Necromancer and 5 of their Skelly crew. This is the Storm King, leader of the Storm Giants, from RG Sculpt. The Realm of Shadows from Nova Minis is filled with savage troglodytes and piles of skulls. TPK Lab has a Society of Scarlet Aristocrats this month, vampires and their immortal library. Albino Raven Miniatures has a collection of dragons and other beasts this month. Printed Encounter is working on Bone Horrors this month, 4-armed skellies. Onmyoji has a wizard summoning a bear spirit this month. My 3D Print Forge has a whole clan of orcs for your players to contend with, including wolf riders, shaman, archers, and warriors. These are The Beasts of the British Isles, Part 1, from Warp Miniatures. Total Worms Volume 2 from Print Your Monsters includes a cool mecha worm, a magma worm, a maggot worm, and more. The Outside of Time set from Void Realm Minis includes a Solar Dragon, Eldritch Lich, Asteroid Mimics, and other strange creatures. Titan Troll Miniatures has a new bundle of gnolls, a Barbarian Lady, a bust, and a chess piece. Rocket Pig Games has a bunch of Clockwork Beasts and other monstrosities. The new set from Flesh of Gods Miniatures is called The Scourges of War, with lots of monsters, siege equipment, and a few adventurers and busts. These are Stalfos and Bagman from Schlossbauer. These are the Orcs and Trolls of the Black Marsh Swamp, and Omi Mermaids from Signum Workshop. Mammoth Factory has a couple adventurers and a bunch of monsters from their new adventure on the Thunder Peak Mountains. Printed Obsession has 9 new Monsters of the Multiverse this month. Daybreak Miniatures has the Fang Clan of Dogor, as well as 2 busts and a shield pack. Mia K has a gallery of grim dark monsters for you, as well as a cute, innocent little kitty. Great Grimoire has a sea-themed release with their Tides of the Abyss set. DM Stash has new Drow of the Deep, along with several monsters you may find down there. Here are 3 new monsters from C27 Minis and Terrain. The August set from the Dragon Trapper's Lodge is the Mushroom Bayou, where all the monsters have mushroom-infected zombie versions, and the lodge rides on the back of an enormous snail. Bullet Souls from Bite the Bullet includes a Lord of the Storm boss model, as well as 2 mimics and 2 basilisks. The Curse of the Emerald City from Broken Anvil Monthly looks like a steampunk version of The Wizard of Oz. White Werewolf Tavern has a Dark Angel with a host of Arakocra, including a priest, monster, warriors, and griffins. Mini Monster Mayhems of Iron and Steel includes a bunch of axemen and other scary things, as well as some sillier options. The latest release from Cast and Play is The Forgotten Maze, infested with all sorts of spectre, including a dragon, king, and others, as well as bases, terrain, and tiles. Bestiar Miniatures has a clan of beastmen, with many types of beasts, camp terrain, and the villagers they're raiding. The Dunes of the East hold all sorts of surprises, like dragons, Jinni, sand snakes, cobra folk, and a whole lot more. The second set for August from Epic Miniatures. Agama Shattered Valley is the August release from Arch Villain Games, an adventure in a place where the age of dinosaurs has not quite ended. MZ4250 has been working on Monsters of the Multiverse lately, in addition to the many patron requests. The new set from Blue Wyvern is this Warband of Tuscan Gorgers. The Unfaced Souls is the latest warband from Lord of War Miniatures. Hollow Miniatures have a new Highborn Swordmaster, a mounted Sylvan Banner Bearer, and a Wood Elf Mage on a unicorn. Here is a second set of Ratfolk Assassins from Vinci Miniatures. Magori Miniatures has 3 new mounted Pistoliers this month. From Cult Miniatures, these are Orc Mercenaries under the pay of Lord Drathul, riding a Horror Drake. These are Aeson's army from Legend Builds. This is an army from the Zurvan Imperium with Legionnaires, Praetorians, Void Mages, and more by Battleyak Miniatures. Dragon's Lake Miniatures have chariots, flamethrowers, engineers, a king, and more for their Dwarven Holds army. Ilhadiel has new centaurs and 2 different Grail Lords this month. Clay Beast Creations has new chariots, raiders, boars, and manticores for their Fallen Beasts army. For warbands, Medbury Miniatures have Dwarven Rangers and Lord, as well as Human Wildmen and a Clansman Noble. These are the completed Gaelic Wood Elves from Kyoshu Neko Miniatures, and the start of their new Onabushi, female Japanese warriors. Diwali Games has a new Lord Iron, mounted and on foot, for their Silver Goat Dwarves. These are the Ducal Guards of Avernia from Last Sword Miniatures. Lost Kingdom Miniatures have the Mugen Guard with a hero, ancient druid, and some cool chariots. Highlands Miniatures is adding 2 pieces of siege equipment and siege engineers to their Sons of Ymir army of dwarves. The Crater of Infernum from Lord of the Print is a full demon army including a dragon, queen, 3 cyclopses, marauders, dogs, and warriors. Titanforge Miniatures has new dragons, characters, and modular cavalry and warriors for an army of Everdark elves. One Page Rules has 2 new demon armies this month, Demons of Change and Demons of War, along with bases, accessories, and a bit of terrain. That's all for now. Huge thanks to all my patrons on Patreon. Your support is what keeps these videos coming. Check back soon for another Kickstarter countdown. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching.